Okay, let us now see what is the meaning of assessment year. Now, basically in income tax, there are two things which are there. One is assessment year and the second is previous year. Let me take you to the drawing board to make you understand what these two concepts mean. Okay? Now, what happens is that every person works for one complete year. Okay? Now, normally there are two kinds of things. One is the calendar year, which starts from January 1 to December 31st. And the other one is the financial year, which is followed in India, okay, which basically ranges from April 1 to March 31st. So for income tax purposes, what is relevant is this particular year. Okay, so what happens is while computing income tax, every person will go and see what have I earned during this particular period. So let's say, for example, a person during April 1, 2011 to March 31, 2012 earned certain incomes. Okay. So this particular period during which he earned income for income tax purposes is known as the previous year. Okay. Now for this particular period, what happens is once you have earned the income, you are supposed to file your return of income. You file your return of income and that has to be submitted to the tax department. Right? So when you submit this return to the tax department, the year in which you have to submit it, which starts immediately after this, so this will be April 1, 2012 to March 31, 2013 is known as the assessment year. So basically, if you notice now, assessment year, which is this, is what? It's a period of 12 months. Right? And these 12 months are linked to this previous year. So these 12 months succeed the previous year. Okay? Let us now see the definition. Assessment year means. Now the word of means is very useful, or rather very important from an income tax perspective. When you say the assessment year means, it means that you don't have an option to change this. It has to be falling within these parameters. So assessment year means period of 12 months. This is what we saw. Okay, again I've written this by means of an example. For assessment year 2012-13, the period which will be covered is going to be April 1, 2012 to March 31, 2013. Right? So assessment year means period of 12 months, which is there. So we call this as assessment year 12-13, and it is written in short as AY. Starting from April 1 of every year, April 1, 2012, and ending on March 31 of the next year, March 31, 2013, next year. The period of assessment year is fixed by the statute, which means that you do not have an option to change the assessment year. So let's say in Companies Act there is an option for various companies, subject to those provisions, that you can have a different financial year, but for income tax purposes, all the assessee have to have this 12-month period which starts from April 1 and ends on March 31 as the assessment year. Now since the concept of previous year is also linked to assessment year, okay, we'll just take some part of the previous year. So generally, to understand, in case of a continuing business, okay, and this is what is relevant in most of the cases, or an existing source of income. If you start a new business, the previous year has to be computed separately, which I'll come back when we discuss this entire slide in detail. But previous year basically means financial year, which is again 12 months immediately preceding the assessment year. Now in the last slide, what we saw was that we took the assessment year as April 1, 2012 to March 31, 2013. So the previous year 2012 will be what? April 1, 2011 to March 31, 2012. Okay, now let's just compare this with what we learned earlier. So in this case, what we had was that we had this as the previous year. Okay, let me just paste what I copied from the other side. Now assessment year 2012-2013 was the period of March up to March 31, 2013. But previous year for this particular assessment year is going to be April 1, 2011 to March 31, 2012. Something which I also showed you on the notice board. So basically April 1, 2012 until March 31, 2012 is the previous year. And the 12 months succeeding this is the assessment year. Okay.